All right, man. So I already know who I have with me. Nice to see you again, Tyler. This is just gonna be an update. I gotta ask you, man, again. What's your current living situation and age?
I'm 38 and I'm homeless, pretty much.
Homeless? Can you tell me a little about your journey and what it's like experiencing homelessness out here in Arizona?
Not really, honest. Like, it's wild. It's stressful. It's chaotic. It's a learning process. I mean, it's a real struggle, for real. It's definitely a struggle.
And what led you to your current situation? If you didn't let me know already on the last video, what led you to it? What led to homelessness? Because we just met somebody who said that you were in a program with them.
Right. So what really originally led me to homelessness was I came out here to go to a program, and it was a religious-based program, and we saw things a little bit differently, and so I just decided to leave. And once I left, I really thought I had a good plan for myself, and as I tried to execute these goals and these things to do those things, I was amazed at what would get in my way for sometimes the most simplest things. It was just
shocked that you were little things just getting in your way. Like what?
Man, that saying killed by 1,000 paper cuts or whatever. You mean that's really what describe it? Because to be honest,
samurai saying.
Right, from the outside, somebody why can't you just do this or why can't you just do that? You just get it done, and as you're going and walking through it, it's these million little tiny, sometimes they're the most minuscule thing. I got this thing on my ankle because I hurt it, and now every once in a while I hit it and it really hurts now, you know what I mean? It's something like that, and then it repeats, and next thing you know, you got 6, 7, 12, 13, 14 little things that are just at you along your way, and
it's an avalanche. It's almost like a mudslide.
Right, sometimes you just ain't gonna get to where you want to go because
just how it is. So what's the hardest part about being homeless for you? Honestly, what's the hardest part? Is it the walking, the tedious little things? Like today, you found a bike here.
I pulled it out yesterday. Yeah, I pulled that out the river yesterday.
Is that a thing that happens a lot for you? Do you find things like that? Is that part of being homeless? What's the hardest part? Go ahead, man.
Well, the hardest part is just I'm not comfortable anywhere to I can go out and work and do physical labor. Somebody pick me up and told me to go work. I can do that. I can do all that. But to really sit down and plan out, do things like this, a lot of people can. And you see them all over the streets, doing their things or whatever. I don't find anywhere where I can really do that and get to myself to where I'm able to do those things, you know what I mean? And so that's the hardest part. I never feel comfortable laying down and going to sleep anywhere.
Wow.
With or without people around.
So what can I ask you, what do you say your longest time being awake is, man? I didn't mean to cut you off
out here this time?
You said you never get to sleep, so what's the longest time you've been awake?
I sleep.
You do sleep.
I sleep. I sleep regularly. Sometimes not, so I go through stints of that, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And then, sometimes with the substances that are out around, and sometimes whether you use them or don't use them, that adds to it. Or it can, you know what I mean? But I've learned even without it, it'll be it's the same thing, because even if you're not using it, because of it being so much around, you're still susceptible to all that's around, whether you're using it or not. Right, because
it's a problem regardless. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right, everything that's around it is still, if they're all on it, all that is still all around you.
So would you say, I've heard this before, a lot of people say they stay awake so that their stuff don't get stolen.
Oh, yeah.
Or they don't get attacked, hurt, mugged, things of that nature.
I don't really worry about getting like hurt so much. But as far as like things coming up missing, oh yeah. And or things getting put in your stuff.
Oh.
Or, you know what I mean? Because you don't know what really be happening when you go to sleep.
I know.
Like, you know, I lost 2 days in Mesa. I don't even know where they went. And I kept track of every time I slept. And everything was legit. I kept track of dates. And then when I left, I checked the date. And I remembered the date that... Because people were like, what the date is? I was like, I don't usually know. I don't know. So it kept coming up. So I kept looking and checking. I don't know where 2 days went. And I slept and woke up in the exact same place that I fell asleep in. Even more normal than I usually would out here. And I checked the date. 2 whole... days. So yeah, when you go to sleep, you wonder, like, you gotta wonder when something like that happens. And I ain't done nothing that I'm not familiar with. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you worry, you have that concern every time. Like, I don't plan where I'm gonna go to sleep. I move and I bounce around until whatever tells me where you're going.
That sounds about right. I get you. So I mean, I hate to ask, but what's a typical day like for you? I mean, you said you bounce around until you sleep. I mean, do you try to work a little bit? Are you on illicit drugs? I mean...
right now, no, I'm not on any, like I occasionally use meth, you know what I mean? Weed, a little bit of, you know, I do self-medicate, I'll say that much. I self-medicate from time to time. You mean, I do as I feel like I need it. But like I said, I see what I went through in doing all those things. The processes with it, without it, with that. And, you know, I've really had to go through a lot to learn what works with me and what doesn't work with me and what I shouldn't partake in or be around, and how much of what I can, even, at least for right now, tolerate and deal with, you know what I mean? Which, that was most important for me in my own growth and development for myself, was if these things are gonna be around me, and if I gotta reach out to these people, and if I have to be here amongst them and of them, well then, what do I need to know and understand about this?
At least know how much you can get into without getting...
Yeah, how does it work? You mean, what happens when you don't sleep? What happens when you don't keep your nutrition up? What happens when you're low on this or that? And you know what I mean? And like, how can you tell within yourself when and what those warning signs are? You know what I mean? So yeah, so I smoke weed. That's the main thing I need for myself. You know what I mean?
Well, that's medication, you know.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
And are there places, services that have been particularly helpful? Like you just were saying something about Mercy Care.
Yeah, that Mercy Care was a good program.
What made it good? And I've never really heard of that place.
They seem to really genuinely be involved in integration into the community. You know what I mean? And doing those first steps of going from whatever you came from that alienated you from this whole process of the system to get into work, job, ID, all this stuff, you know what I mean? And just, because making decisions
is hard
when you've gone from whatever it was before to where you end up incarcerated or whatever, and you're away from whatever for so long, and then you come back out into it. Most people don't understand that learning process that we have to go through because we're so unfamiliar with it. We didn't get these things each step along the way. You know what I mean? We got them. We just get it like this, and then
are shocked at the response.
Like, how do you, like, you know what I mean? Like, figure these things out, like apps. Crazy.
Yeah. What is something you wish more people understood about homelessness?
That's not always a choice. For real, it's not always a choice.
I agree with you. And
it can be a choice. For many, it is a choice. Sometimes it's choices that may, but to be and stay homeless, like, kind of like how I mentioned to you before, just after this COVID crisis and all that, and all these people dying and just all this other stuff happening, and yet more people on the streets, and but there's houses empty all over the place, and all this, like, something ain't right, and sometimes it's just too difficult to get yourself up out of homelessness and use the resources around you even to do that all yourself. Like,
agree, 100%, man, 100%. Good answers there, Tyler. Good answers. Is there a particular experience you had while homeless that stands out? What stands out to you that's happened or not happened while you've been homeless?
Man, there's so many things.
I can imagine.
Like, there really is so many things, but here I could tell you this way, because I always go to this one, because this is the one thing I always go to when somebody says, the things I see and go through, you would have to see it to believe it, because if I told you about it, you would think that person crazy, on drugs, hallucinating, or whatever. And so, because the way the light is in the shadow, I can enact this perfect right now, right? So this is the thing I always think of, and it's great, it's crazy, it's weird, right? But I bought a pack of Camel Wines, and I left QT over on Peoria. And when I get to the smoke shop, my buddy's smoke shop, I go to get out a cigarette and I say I don't have them. So I retrace my steps. And as I cross the street, I see a pack of 24/7s.
Okay.
And they're 24/7 100s. And I'm like, those ain't my cigarettes. And I pick them up, and they're exactly how I had my cigarettes. Only, see, the thing is I hadn't put the Lucky. I always flip a Lucky over into my pack, and I hadn't even done that. And so here's this pack, and it don't got that too. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, you could, and I'm talking to, at this point, I'm talking to the spirit realm or whatever. I'm like, well, you could at least replace it with the same pack. You didn't have to go wides or whatever, but you could have at least replaced it with Camels. And as I'm walking, I walk and I drop the pack of cigarettes. And as I bend down to pick them up, I come up and I see, as my hand goes up like this, I see another one go. And but there's no hand, I just see the shadow. And it drops, and I'm like, and I pick it up, and I look around and up, and I have a backpack, there's nothing dangling, nothing, and I'm just like, so I guess I'm just dropping packs of cigarettes like an Easter bunny now, huh? And I just start laughing and laughing. I didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to say, I just laughed and laughed, and then the next day it happened, that next evening it happened again. At a different part of town, and again, all I could do was just, people are looking at me, and I'm just laughing, because I don't know what I could, like,
couldn't expound on what it was.
I couldn't have even made, like, imagine or made that up to, like, for a story to tell somebody for a reason, you know what I mean, or something. Like, I just
make it up if you try.
Like, what on? That just happened, you know what I mean, like.
All right, Tyler, what keeps you getting through your times now?
Man.
What keeps you going?
For real, God and all his fans.
Police are coming. They're right behind us.
I know, that's fine. God and all the ones that love him and he loves, dude. And, like, just, man, I just cheer up. I smoke some weed.
That weed, huh? That bud.
It really don't take that much. Like, it just takes it kind of a little bit regularly.
just a little joint.
That's only when I'm really pissed off, honestly. Like, all kinds of things get me through. You know what I mean? All kinds of things get me through. Water.
Yeah.
Water. Don't forget the water.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Water.
What are your hopes for the future, man?
Man, there's so many of them, but just goodness, just good. That's just the best. Like progression. journey towards that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, like, eyes open.
Yeah, that's
eyes
awesome.
open, bro. I hope for 2 eyes open.
Yeah, that's real. I always tell people when they ask how you're doing, not to cut you off, I always say I'm vertical, man. I like to say I'm vertical. At least I'm here, essentially.
Right.
Good catch again. Last question for you, bud. Do you have a Cash App you would like to shout out if someone feels like donating to help your current situation?
I have a PayPal. I don't have a Cash App at the moment.
PayPal, shout it out, man.
Yeah.
Just in case someone feels like,
it would be. What is my PayPal, as a matter of fact?
Take your time.
It'd be under my name, if anything. It's under my name or my phone number.
Ooh, don't shout your phone number. You might get, shout out your name though, the full or exactly what you think it is.
Well, it's under Tyler Bo Stratman.
Okay, say that again.
Tyler Bo Stratman.
Tyler Boast.
Bo
Strawman.
Sounds good.
Okay.
It ain't spelled that way, but
okay. Man, bro, you're always cool, bro. I love talking to you, bro. Well, that concludes this interview, man. I want to thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man. I tried it a little different today.
Oh, I think it's Epic 505.
Epic 505.
I think it is.
Epic 505.
And it's I think it's Epic with the Y, EPY.
There you are. There it
Yep,
is.
EPYC 505. There you go.
Epic
For
505.
Sure. Yeah.
There it is. My man Tyler. Thank you so much, man.
Yep, for sure.